We allow ourselves to be bandied about by illusions, dragged by the appearance of things, imprisoned by the immediate, confused by the chaos. And as a result, we keep reacting to life like victims instead of decoding it like initiates. But what if I told you it was all a grand setup? Not to destroy you, but to reveal you. Let me take you back a bit. Remember that story of Joseph? Sold by his own brothers, thrown into a pit, shackled and sold, stripped of everything familiar. A dreamer, now enslaved in a foreign culture, then falsely accused by Potiphar's wife, locked in a prison for a crime he never committed. If you looked at his life through ordinary eyes, you'd probably call him cursed. But Joseph wasn't being punished. He was being positioned. Because one day, Pharaoh would have a dream. And guess who had been trained in dreams since childhood? Guess who learned the politics of Egypt whilst in Potiphar's house? Guess who learned patience while in prison? It was all a setup. The pit, the prison, the pain, all of it was prepping him for his position in the palace. Then there is David, anointed in secret, but instead of the crown, he got hunted. The president himself, King Saul, took to the battlefield to kill David. David lived in caves, feared for his life, wrote psalms with tear-stained ink, and yet he was the one chosen to lead the nation, the said nation that hunted him. Why? Because leadership requires fire. And fire doesn't come from titles. It comes from being broken and still choosing not to break others. Let's look at Moses. Raised as royalty, then disgraced, exiled, forgotten on the backside of a desert, from palaces to pastures, from prince to nobody. But the wilderness wasn't punishment. It was purification. It was in the silence of that desert that the bush caught fire, and so did Moses' purpose. Then there is Esther, an orphan girl, hidden in a foreign palace, quiet, overlooked, until the moment arose when she had to rise and she realized the crown on her head was never about beauty, it was about strategy. But to understand the mystery of it all, we must pierce through the veil. In Hindu philosophy, this veil is called Maya. Not illusion as in nothing is real, but illusion as in you are mistaking the temporary for the eternal. Maya seduces us with form, with conditions, with the surface of things, so we forget that what looks like something is falling apart might actually be a divine construction zone. Other traditions echo this truth. In Gnostic thought, the Hylic realm traps the soul in density. In Kabbalah, the wall of Olam HaShikar veils this truth beneath the appearance. But all agree, reality is not what it seems. And when we only trust what we see, we miss what is becoming. When we understand the essence of archetypes, we would recognize that these weren't just people, they were patterns. Joseph, the wounded seer, the one who must be betrayed in order to activate his gift. David, the exiled warrior king, hunted by the old order because he carries the new frequency. Moses, the initiated liberator, the one who must leave the system before he can dismantle it. Esther, the hidden priestess queen, her silence was her strategy until the right moment called her voice. They are not just characters in a book. They are codes in your DNA. They are the reason you're crying right now and don't even know why, because some part of you remembers. You're not being destroyed. You are being discovered. That job you lost, it wasn't rejection. It was a rerouting. You hated it. You prayed for change. But when the change came in the form of layoff, you panicked. Maya tricked you. That heartbreak that shattered you, it wasn't just pain. It was purification, a birthing. For the essence of you to be activated, that person had to be removed. You didn't lose them. They were removed for your remembrance. That health scare, that public shame, that season of isolation, it was all soul design. A secret strategy masked as a crisis. Your higher self was pulling the strings the whole time. Because the palace is not for the unprepared. Sometimes, the universe must break your heart to save your crown. Here's a 5-point directive to assist you if you are caught in the whirlwind of the illusion of Maya. 1. Question the appearance. Don't take the scene at face value. The surface often lies. Maya wants you to react, but initiation asks that you pause. Ask yourself, what am I being shown beneath the pain? What deeper truth is hidden inside this disruption? The illusion loses its grip when you stop worshipping the visible. 2. Reframe the pain. Not everything that hurts is harmful. That betrayal didn't just break you. It broke open the false identity you were still clinging to. Pain is often the soul's way of loosening what comfort would never release. Ask, who have I become through this? Now you'll see, the setup was actually a staircase. 3. Study the pattern. Life is not random, it's rhythmic. If the same thing keeps happening, it's not a punishment. It's a code repeating. Learn to trace it back to its spiritual root. Are you Joseph still trusting people not meant for your vision? Are you David still trying to win Saul's approval? Naming the pattern gives you power to break it. 4. Embody the role. You don't need permission to be what you already are. Joseph didn't wait for a crown to interpret dreams. David was leading men before he had a throne. Start walking like the version of you the world hasn't seen yet. When you act from the soul, the setup accelerates. 5. Anchor in the source. The storm will try to convince you that you have been forsaken. But if you can hold still, you'll hear the whisper beneath the wind. This is where clarity lives. This is where Maya unravels. Return to your breath. Speak with intention. Meditate. Pray. Align. The source has never left you. It's just waiting for you to look inward. You were never just living a life. You were walking through a sacred setup. And though Maya may twist the vision, though betrayal may sting and silence may scream, you are still on course. This is not your destruction. It's your refinement, your anointing, your unveiling. Because in this curriculum, the prison becomes the palace, the cave becomes the classroom, and the exile becomes the elevation. You are not being buried. You are being initiated. This is the sacred curriculum.